morning, but when Mr. Bishop shows up, I'll just get things started. So we'll call the Planning Commission to order. Mr. Slade, before we go into the Planning Commission, if you would open us up in a word of prayer, it'd be great.
I'll be glad to. Father, we start this meeting, as always, coming before you, acknowledging your presence here with us. Thanking you, Lord, for how you have blessed us so abundantly as a community. Father, how you have protected us and guided us. Father, you've given us leadership so that we might have good decision-making. Father, so that we might understand what is in the best interest of all of the citizens of our county as you lead and guide and give skills and abilities to these men that you've elevated to these positions of authority. I thank you for them, their willingness to serve. I thank you for their families that sacrifice so that they can do this. Thank you that you bless our community with good leadership. Thank you, Father, that you give us men and women who protect us, who serve us every single day. I pray for their safety. I pray for their safe return. I pray, Father, for their families as well. In Christ's name, amen.
Amen.
All right, perfect. We'll get going through this agenda, and then Mr. Bishop walks in, and we'll just hand it over to him. So item number 2 on the Planning Commission is consideration and approval of the August minutes. Entertain a motion to...
So moved.
So a motion by Mr. Morrison.
Second.
Second by Mr. Calhoun. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed with the like signs. Item 2 passes. Item 3, I don't see any old business. Item 4, under new considerations. Ms. Lawrence?
Good morning.
Good morning.
The first item is a conditional use permit with dimensional variance for Mississippi Storage LLC. This property is located at 1633 Highway 469. It's a 2.16 acre parcel. It's Zone C2. They're asking for a conditional use permit to expand the storage facility located on this property. That's an aerial view. And this is their site plan. 2 buildings on the south end of the property are existing. They were approved for a conditional use in 2019 to add the 2 buildings that are shown on the north end of the property, but those were never constructed. So they're seeking the conditional use permit to add that 3rd building on the west end of the property. So if they're approved, there would be a total of 5 storage buildings on the property. The site plan also shows a proposed detention area along the west property line, and in that little triangular area there's some gravel that's going to remain there. It also shows that the entrance drive and the parking areas or the parking lot area would be concrete. They show a screen 6 foot high along the west property line, and on the south property line where they adjoin residential, there's an existing fence that they plan to extend down the property line. The variance is requested from the front setback of 40 feet. They're asking for a variance of 15 feet, so the buildings will be lined up, they'll be uniform, and it will allow for the traffic to flow smoothly. These are views of those 2 existing buildings. The new buildings will match these in material and color. These are views of where the new buildings will be going on the property.
Oh,
And then these are surrounding properties. I'm not sure if Mr. Crownover is here today. Okay.
He's right there.
So he's here if you have any questions for him.
so the screening, what were you saying about the screening around the property?
It'll just be a fence that blocks the view rather than a chain link fence. It'll actually obstruct the view from the neighbors so they don't see anything.
So on the south line, you're going to add one different than what you have now because you have cyclone with mesh along the south.
Yes, yeah, they asked for a screen, so we'll just make that screen fence all the way down and also along that west angled fence because Johnny Jones' property is on the back there. And we're gonna put some landscaping on that too to kind of block it from his view.
Or is that what you're saying when you put a
Screen.
screen up, you put some type of landscaping or
Yes, sir.
something to?
There won't be able to be any on the south side because it's just a sharp transition to the neighbor there, but on the west side there will be. And really the reason was for adding, we're gonna have a retention pond along that to try to catch some of that storm water when when they built the fireworks stand, they didn't put much stormwater control there. And we're gonna try to catch it and help Johnny take care of that also.
Well, I know in the store, the outpost or whatever on the front, I mean, is any water going to be leaving the site going that way, or everything's gonna be draining toward the back?
Currently, there may be some from that fireworks stand, but we're gonna try to catch everything and send it down through just that long skinny retention pond there on the west. Try to slow it down a little bit. We've been trying to get in the back there from Johnny's side, and it's just always water going right across his driveway.
I got you.
Okay.
Anybody else got any other questions?
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Mr. Bishop,
Hey man, how you doing?
I just kicked this thing off. You wanna take this thing over, or you may just keep going?
We told you to tag up, we
I knew you were
tag up,
coming.
you keep
Alright.
going.
We at number 2 now.
All right.
So
number
basically,
two.
under new considerations, item 4, on number 2,
Gotcha.
passing that on over.
All right, use properties.
All right, so Muse Properties LLC is seeking a conditional use permit at 1148 to 1172 Muse Road. They're seeking the conditional use permit to expand a development that was constructed in the 60s. It's a 6.10 acre lot. It's zoned A1. It's an aerial view. There are 13 homes on the property now. And so this is the current layout. Those boxes show the 13 homes. And then the proposed new homes, they're wanting to add 2 to 3 2-bedroom, 1-bath homes of similar size and construction at the very end on the south end of the property. They're highlighted in yellow. Each of the homes will contain approximately 700 to 900 square feet. He's proposing an exterior of brick or hardy board siding with a metal galvalume roof. The proposed units will be pastel in color to match the color scheme that's already in place. And so these are views of those 13 homes. And then this is the area on the south end where the new homes would be constructed. They plan to situate the new homes further back from the front property line, so each home would have its own driveway. Some of those existing homes don't have a driveway. So this is the area where the new homes would be constructed. They plan to do away with that bank of mailboxes and add a central mailbox. Chris McCarver or Rick Walker may be here today. Okay.
He's here.
If you have any questions, and these are views of surrounding properties. This is the old country club. I think it fronts on 49. And these are surrounding properties.
Ms. Renee, this development predates zoning, is that correct?
That's correct. Y'all have any questions?
I don't have any
Carter?
questions, really, no, I mean, how far back? I guess, I was just curious, how far back start moving them?
10 to 20 feet, just on the east end of that, there are some that have their own drives.
Yeah, yeah.
And we want to emulate that on
Mhm. Oh, yeah, this place, it's been there, gosh, forever.
You've noticed that we've been working on it.
You're just gonna fill in a couple more, a little bit of the empty spots that are there.
Well, I'm not certain that we're gonna end up with 3. There's a ditch that runs through there, and once we have it surveyed, depending on how close to that ditch,
Mhm.
we may only get 2.
So whatever you put in there, it won't be more than 3 though.
It won't be more than that.
Ms. Renee, what is the current zoning there?
It's A1. And just to note, there is a 30-foot front setback, so you'll have to be at least 30 feet off the front property
Correct.
line.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Well, we'll be.
You may be more than that, but
We
I
may,
don't.
yeah, we may be just.
Yeah.
Ms. Renee, should we first be looking at a rezoning request? This is an expansion of a grandfathered use.
I don't know what
I think we
it
should.
would. Okay, so do y'all know which zone it would fit?
But you're gonna have to
Do not.
rezone the whole thing or just the one, those 3, that one little lot?
Well, while we're
The
looking at it,
What he's
I
proposing
think,
is whatever he's proposing,
I'm saying
because
just-
everything else is already there.
Yeah.
I mean, we could do all of it, but
well,
Why would we rezone that one end?
no, I
That's
think.
going toward the, going towards the east or west?
That end is on the west side.
That's close to the highway.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
We probably need to look at just cleaning it up from a rezoning perspective, since it is an expansion. It needs to lose its grandfathered status if we're gonna go in this direction. I mean, it can stay just like it is indefinitely, but anytime you get into an expansion, you lose your grandfather status. So it needs to be cleared up to reflect the use, right? So it needs to be some type of high-density residential classification there, but it needs to fit in the overall zoning pattern of that area first. And then, of course, that, you guys are gonna have to look at it from the perspective of if it's gonna get rezoned, as it relates to the new construction, what sort of impact would square footages at this size here that are being proposed, how could that impact your potential future zoning in that area? So we need to be thoughtful about that. These are
What size are
very
they?
small houses.
What size are they?
Though, what we're proposed, they're 2-bedroom, 1 bath, and they're
Square footage.
700 to 800 feet,
700 to 800? What are these?
700 to 800 feet.
Same thing.
Yeah.
We want them to be essentially the same as what's already there.
Haven't we denied a lot of people even to come forward trying to do this?
Yes.
Well, yes. Only difference, this one is, they sit there right there in a row. I don't know,
They're
These-
parking on the side of the street, is that where the parking lot is?
no, this actually is the road, that's Muse
Oh,
Road.
yeah, but I mean, the little gravel or whatever, is
Yeah,
that what
that's-
they're using?
That's usually where they park it.
There's about 8 to 9 of them right there that park in that little, it looks like gravel area. And then on the east side, we've got 4 that have little driveways to them, that they park in the driveway.
So just to clarify, gentlemen, you've got a grandfathered situation that nobody is intending to mess with, from the perspective of it's a non-conforming use, but it's allowed to be there. The grandfathered status, however, is only preserved insofar as there's not a significant change in the situation. You can't add to a grandfather status and it retain a grandfather status. It'll have to be brought into code compliance at that point. It can stay just like it is, but any expansion of that use, you've got to rezone it at that point. I think the appropriate thing to do would be to look at rezoning the entire area here with all the houses so that we get it right on the zoning map and we have a good context to work forward from. And then we need to address the issue of what is the appropriate zoning classification to attach to this. It's gonna have to be high-density residential. The houses are close together. I think they each have a treatment plant, I guess.
They do.
Okay, so you don't have a sewer issue that we know of, right? But there's gonna need to be some discussion with the state health department. That's beyond the issue of rezoning. But once we get the zoning classification right, then we can move into a consideration of the square footage piece.
Well, I didn't think the health department allowed you to even consider a treatment system unless you had an acre.
He has an engineer system design. I believe that some of those were
Yeah.
approved by the health department
They were.
already.
Yeah.
Is that the underground system?
Well, each one has its own tank, and since they're all 1 bath, some of them share the same sprinkler lines. I don't know
I can go back.
if you can go back.
Yeah,
I think that's where I was.
so,
See, there was one with the little driveway,
right.
right there. But anyway,
So what's before you guys is the potential setting of a conditional use application. What I'm telling you is I think we probably need to back up and do a rezoning request first, okay? And then it may or may not need to have some conditional, Renee, are we gonna need to do a conditional use?
Well, none of it's gonna fit.
It's not
We
gonna
don't
fit any
need
classification.
because these are actually, 3 parcels. One's very small,
Yep.
and then some of the, I don't know how many are on that one parcel. Is it 11?
yeah.
There's a long slender one with 11 homes sitting on it. There's one small parcel with 2 homes on it, and then he's got the bigger piece.
Yeah,
So it's 3 parcels,
yeah.
but none of it's gonna meet the, we don't even, I don't even know about the size of that's smaller split off one. It's got 2 houses on it. You know, I just don't know.
The only thing the only reason I'm looking at it is the fact that they're there and you're just adding here. I wouldn't wanna do something that we open up, and that's the only thing, just open up to where, I mean, you're right, Jay, some others have come in wanting to do something similar, but on a totally
Yes.
new layout. The only reason I would look at anything is the fact these are existing and add to it. I don't wanna zone something, open up then and say, okay, we're gonna go across the road here, we wanna do the
Yeah.
same thing.
Yeah. That's the
Because there's
danger.
some property across the
Right.
road that, potentially could be.
And
What-
all the adjoining property is zoned ag, just like this.
Yes.
And this will build him out. I mean, he's not gonna be able to go anywhere else. This is it.
Right. The
Whatever.
only issue for me, guys, is that we preach all the time.
Right.
Grandfathered cannot be modified. It loses its grandfather status if it gets modified.
Yeah,
This
I
is
forgot about
clearly
that,
an
yeah.
expansion of a prior non-conforming use, and we don't allow that just without some sort of modification and compliance with zoning. So, I'm not sure how we can address the request without getting into the zoning piece.
I got you. Okay, well, if that's what we need to do, I guess we're gonna have to do.
Right, so what's before you is a request to set it for a conditional use, a public hearing on a conditional use request, and we need to have a zoning public hearing before we get to a request for conditional use.
But am I hearing it right, Renee, say that we don't actually have a zoning
Well, I don't,
category that these would fit?
well, I don't,
Off the top of our head, we don't know that we have something that we can work with just yet. But, Renee, I'm not prepared to make a final declaration about that today, because I just don't know.
I can't, I don't know either.
Right.
Because
So
we
I
don't
would
know
say-
any of the dimensions of what each house would have.
Right.
If
I
he
think-
segregates it.
Let's get a zoning application in front of us and let me and Ms. Renee and this gentleman put our heads together and see if we can come up with a plan that works. We may just have to delay this for just a short period of time. Yeah, well, I actually, what's before you is not appropriate.
There's no need to set the public hearing.
I don't think there is, personally.
October 16th.
I'm not gonna tell y'all how to make your decision, but my advice is that we not set this, that we drop back, we get a zoning application, then Ms. Renee and I will put our heads together and see if we can come up with something.
The only thing I just don't, like I said, just don't wanna open it up to where this becomes a common request.
Right.
As far as building a whole multiple.
Maybe.
Right, I understand what you're saying, and
But even if you change the zoning, the way it sits, it would still be grandfathered. Those houses are there.
Yeah.
They're grandfathered as they sit. Now, if they go away, if something destroys them,
Yeah.
they couldn't come back like they are. You would have to meet the zoning requirements
Yes.
at that time.
Yeah. Well,
Which
one
would be
thing
an
that-
acre,
well, one
even
thing
in the
that
ag.
we can do is just look at rezoning for the new construction. We'll leave it A1 where it sits for our existing.
Okay.
But then there's somebody else with it, somewhere else that's A1, gonna come on and do
Yeah,
the
so
same thing.
here's the point.
Ain't nothing
It's
new.
clearly,
Huh?
this,
Not the new ordinance.
what is put before you guys is not appropriate for A1. It's not.
That's right.
And we know that because we have zoning now. So I don't know how these people are, maybe they're just not gonna borrow money to buy it. They're just gonna rent it, which is, you don't have a lender involved.
These are not, they're rentals.
All right. So, but at some point, if there's gonna be a bank involved in this, the bank's gonna inquire, is this compliant with zoning? And the answer's gonna be, no, it's
But they're-
not.
these are just rentals. They always have been.
I understand.
But I mean, A1 now, you got to have so many feet of road frontage, it's got to be, what, 10 acres?
Right.
Or
I'm just-
say it's A1.
There's potential problems out into the future if, especially if banks are gonna get involved on any of this. So, I'm doing what I can to try to address future problems and to avoid those if we can. So, I think we can come up with a solution. We just need time to do it, and we need a zoning application in front of us to be able to address that. And I'm fine, if you guys are okay with it, he's already paid for a conditional use application, let's just apply that to the rezoning. I'm not gonna ask him to pay for a rezoning application.
Well, I'm fine with that, for sure.
Okay.
So we'll have to start again, and it'll be,
I don't know how we can avoid it.
November 2nd.
Yeah, because we've got to have it in front of us before we can address it with you guys to set it.
So y'all just gonna make contact back with it?
Yeah, so Ms. Renee can help you with a
Right.
request for zoning.
So just to, I understand, are we looking at rezoning the entire thing?
I don't know yet. I think what we're gonna do is try to piecemeal this thing and keep it as legal as we can and not get ourselves in trouble with other property owners.
Right.
And so I don't know what to tell you just yet.
And we have not had a public hearing on it, so we don't know what we're gonna run into there either.
Right.
You may have that whole bunch come up.
Right, right.
And honestly, I'd forgotten, I didn't know, didn't think about it. Really, back when these were done, there was no zoning.
Correct.
These things were.
69.
Huh?
I mean, I think they said 69.
And they were in the sixties,
Yeah.
maybe 62.
I mean, I don't ever remember not being there.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you know, we had,
I mean, y'all cleaned them up and done a great job.
we've done
Yeah.
about as much as we can do without tearing them down, you know?
Yeah, no, you have.
And,
They need a lot of work on them when you got them. They've been needing a lot of work for a long time. And,
Yeah. So what we've got to remember though is what we do for one property owner, we can expect to do for virtually every other property
you're
owner.
gonna have another
in
one
the
come
county.
right in here and go, hey,
Yeah, so-
y'all did that, we saw you do that, we wanna do the same thing right
Yeah.
down the road.
Yeah. So we
right,
have to be careful.
I understand that. I'm just
And you'd be
trying,
the same way.
right, I'm just trying to figure out how to possibly add some additional.
Yeah, and that's what we're gonna try to work on.
Yes, they just need some time to
Right.
figure
Yeah,
that out.
let them try to figure it out, and we just add the cost, like he said. You won't have to pay anything extra, we just
Okay.
move it over. Let's see what we can do. I didn't realize the fact, didn't think about, like I said, the zoning, there was none. So this did open up a whole nother issue.
Okay, I know there's gonna be a lot of cost associated with getting this, that's where can we move forward? I mean, if the answer had been, no, y'all can't do that, then I can go away and go do something else.
Yeah.
But,
No.
but,
Well, I'll tell you, I'm not gonna be in favor of it, so,
Okay.
just to let you know.
okay. All right, good with you?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank
All
you.
right.
Thanks for coming. All right, so no action taken on that. Moving on to number 3.
All right, so the last item is a conditional use permit for Lachey Greenwood at 263 Taylor Lane. Ms. Greenwood is seeking the conditional use permit for a business she's operating out of a metal building on this property. It's a 7-acre parcel. It's zoned A1. She has a home on the property as well. That's an aerial view of that property. This is the home on her property. And then this is the metal building. She operates a chemical-free cosmetic product line that she sells online. Products are shipped directly to the customer by UPS. She lists her hours of operation as Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. She has 12 employees that work Monday through Thursday and 6 that work on Fridays. We did receive 10 signed statements from surrounding properties, property owners or residents that they're not opposed to the business use. And Ms. Greenwood is here today if you have any questions for her. These are surrounding properties.
How long has she been in operation?
I think August of '22 is what we saw online.
Morning.
Good morning. For the record, just state your name and address.
Lachey Greenwood, 263 Taylor Lane.
Okay.
I don't know how you get 12 people in that building.
Well, I did start in 2021 in my bedroom, then I moved to my grandmother's house. So right now, about 5, 6 of them are family members, and then other people we have found to help us during the week.
So it's just like delivery trucks that are coming there
Mhm. So-
weekly or?
We have USPS to pick up the packages every day. If we have to take some to the post office, then me and my mom takes them to the post office.
Okay.
She also included in her application that she's going to get a dump, or on those statements that she was going to get a dumpster.
That's good. That's good. So there were a couple of pieces here that we needed to address. One was the fact that we had a business use going on in is this ag?
It is.
Yeah, what are we doing? Conditional use? Okay. So we need just to address the fact this is a commercial operation. I realize it doesn't really feel like a big time commercial operation, but, well, no offense, but apparently it's a pretty good business operation that's going on here with 12 folks working. So we need to address that as a business use, kind of out of context from a zoning perspective. We need to address that. The other thing is that, really should have had a permit. Do we have a permit on construction?
She obtained a permit for a
Okay.
512 square foot building, but this is a 2,100 square foot building.
Okay.
And we're trying to get all the information that we need.
Yeah.
I think the building is gonna work out fine, but we need Miss Greenwood to contact Carolina Carports or wherever she got the building from and let their engineer release the information that we're requesting to us.
So we have a wind load issue and some
Yes,
other things.
that building
Well, we
not
have
gonna
some
meet that.
questions. It did meet the wind speed, but
Okay.
Brian
did meet the wind
needs-
speed?
It did. Brian needs some more additional information, and we've contacted him, but nobody
Okay.
wants to talk to us or
Show
give
me
us
that-
any
give me that
information
picture
without her
inside.
Yeah,
permission.
I understand.
Show me that inside picture again.
The building itself met it was marked that it met the wind speed and
It's always
sealed.
See
bigger
how?
than that looks, for sure. 2,100
I don't
square
see
foot.
how, that's one of those garage,
It's like a cardboard
Building.
thing. That was our question too. That's why we're trying to get more
I mean,
information.
that's what it is, and you won't let those chicken house trust buildings don't meet it. And that's not built any dirtier than it, I can't believe it. But, I mean, if it did, but it's surprising. That's fine. I'm just surprised when you said it did.
Well, we were a little surprised too. That's why
Yeah,
we're
that-
trying to
that's
get
fine.
the additional
Okay.
information that
Well,
we're-
I'm glad to know that,
this specific one did though.
yeah.
And how did we find out about this? Wasn't it the waste management contacted us?
That's correct, because she was putting out an excessive amount of garbage both pickup days.
Yeah.
Did a good
And
job
so
of
they
foaming
said
it.
that,
Good installation.
Thank you.
So obviously, we don't want commercial operations impacting residential solid waste collection. That's important for us. So businesses, and this is good to educate the entire public, businesses have to have their own separate solid waste. So residential solid waste, stuff out of the house where you live, can be put out at the road, and that's what our folks are supposed to pick up. But business operation waste, that's not supposed to be put out at the road. That's got to be handled separately. So, so we need that piece of it, get the certifications that are required on the building itself. And then we need to just address a couple of things, how to deal with the permit piece. Typically, the penalty for not getting a permit ahead of time is you double the permit fee. And so you guys need to talk about that. And then there's an ad valorem tax component to this as well, because it wasn't picked up, from my knowledge, it wasn't picked up as a separate business structure. And so I think the tax assessor's gonna probably have to address at least the 22s and the 23s going forward to pick this value up, and there'll be some personal property tax implications as well from the commercial operation. So several pieces here that have to be dealt with. The conditional use, Renee, you feel good about that this being a conditional use?
I do.
In A1? Okay, so we can address that going forward, but I just wanted to remind you guys, there's lots of other stuff going on that's beyond just the conditional use application
Should.
here now.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, that's it for new consideration. Moving on to set the public hearings. Do I have a motion to
So
approve
moved.
1 and 3?
Well, hold up now, two
Well-
was the one on the
One
new
and
property,
three.
so we're gonna,
1 and 3?
yeah,
All right.
I'll make the motion and say.
Motion by Brad,
Second.
second by Daniel. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Do we have anything for site plan?
No, are no site plans today.
All right, moving into the nuisance properties. First up, we have P&B properties.
Gentlemen, we'll open that public hearing for P&B Properties nuisance property consideration 64 Sunny Circle District 1. I'll ask for whomever is here to represent P&B Properties LLC to please step forward, and Renee will demonstrate with the photos.
All right, so we received complaints about this property in August. It's Lot 1 in Rolling Hill subdivision. Our certified mail was sent, and the owner did receive some of the mail. So these pictures were taken on August the 9th. And these are the new, no?
You must have had a lot more rain than I had.
See, nothing that green.
And these are the new pictures that were taken yesterday. I think Mr. Bitterman did call, and he told Kathy he had cut the grass and was planning on removing the mobile home and replacing with a new one.
That's correct. We're gonna tear that down and put another one out there. We bought it to do that with anyway. Property's in pretty rough shape when we bought it, and we just kind of had other things going on and left it. Sorry about that, but it has been, we bush hogged it and picked it up.
Yeah, cleaned up a lot, yeah. But,
Basketball goals to neighbors, he said he'd get it, but we don't throw it away.
Do you have a time frame when you're going to tear it down?
I mean, we can move on with that, I guess, maybe the next month or so.
Do it before it
the
gets
main
wet?
thing, got it cleaned up around it.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think anybody's gonna complain too much for a little bit, as long as it's cleaned up
And
around
now you can see the
it.
trailer, it looks worse, I think.
Exactly, right.
I was like, we were letting hide it there. But we're gonna tear that down, we're gonna get it taken care of.
All right.
All right, sounds good.
So we're good for now?
Okay, made a good effort.
Yeah, just, I mean,
Shut-
just don't
shut-
prolong it. I mean,
Yeah.
don't be a year from now, cause
No,
we're
it
gonna
won't
get
be.
calls.
We're
It
gonna
won't
keep
take us
getting
that long to get
calls.
torn down.
The biggest thing, I think, if you keep it clean around it, that's one thing.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the neighbors don't want the snakes and the rats and whatever that's living in that over their property. That, you know, that creates that.
I understand.
And shut the door on it, we won't look quite so bad.
All right. I think the door was shut last time I was out there. It doesn't stay shut. I don't
Somebody's
think so.
quiet.
That,
in it.
that might be another reason. you
Well,
need to
actually, I
watch.
told the neighbor, he wanted to pull some plywood out. I'm like, get what you want. Like,
Well, he's gonna get all the good stuff and leave you the bad stuff.
That's
Can't be
all.
that much good in there.
It's not. We bought it for the lot.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool.
If
Thank you,
you'll,
man.
make sure that you get with Ms. Renee before you put another unit in place, please get with her before that.
I did
Yeah.
talk. I talked to, was it Kathy or somebody getting a permit put out there?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
All right,
Thank you.
Very good. Thank you.
sounds good, thank you.
Gentlemen, I think we can just simply reflect that there's no reason to take any action on that matter, and we'll close that public hearing, and we just let the minutes reflect that, if that's okay.
Sounds good.
All right.
Okay.
Second item under nuisance is the John E. Cooksey Jr., Allison Cooksey, and Lana Marie Parkman nuisance property at 80 Sunny Cove. It's a District 1 property. We'll open that public hearing. I'll ask Ms. Renee to please demonstrate with the photos. I'll ask anyone affiliated with the Cookseys or Parkmans to be prepared to come forward, please.
All right, so, these two lots are in Rolling Hill subdivision, also. We got a complaint in August about rubbish, weeds, and inoperable vehicles. Kathy took these pictures on the 9th of August. And these are the new pictures that were taken yesterday.
Like you got a good start on it.
Yeah, but this is what it looks like now. This is my end result. I still got to cut the trees to get up in the backyard to come down. But,
Are you living in the trailer?
no,
Or
sir, no, sir.
Is it vacant?
It is right now, I'm staying with my mother, taking care of her, she had her surgery, but I'm gonna move back in here pretty soon. And that's, the property was let go for a while, and it just needed to be cleaned back up with this tree. And just, done a good job with it, I'm still,
What's it?
I still got 2 trees down that I'm working on in the backyard, but I'm just gonna have that up here for too long. So, I'm trying to get the property back in compliance.
Well,
Are
okay,
those
so you're,
vehicles still there?
No, no.
Okay.
looks like you're working on it.
Where were the cars taken?
They were taken to the scrapyard.
And that was yesterday? You took them?
No.
These pictures were
Oh,
yesterday.
yeah, these pictures were yesterday.
Yeah, no, the Cadillac is it's tagged and it runs. The
How
black
about
car.
the pickup truck?
Pickup truck is sold, fellas come to pick it up next week. I sold the vehicle, as a matter of fact, I sold it yesterday, but he's coming to pick it up, he said next payday, so next Friday it should be gone.
So why don't we table this for a month
Yeah.
and let Kathy go back out there and
That's
take
what I
some
think.
photos?
Yeah, I'll have everything taken care of.
If you, yeah, we're just gonna table, we're not gonna, well, you go ahead.
No, I'm fine with just tabling it, not gonna do anything, but we're just tabling it, and we'll go back there and look next month. I mean, you're not off the hook, but you.
Yes, sir, I understand, that's fine, everything
Okay.
should be in order by the time y'all get back around to it.
All right.
Thank
You
you
do
very
that,
much.
Kathy, we're gonna go back and look at it, we're gonna just kinda put it on hold, make sure it's done.
Appreciate your help.
All right, thank
So
you.
the minutes will reflect that the matter is tabled. Mr. Bishop, if you're good with that, we'll show that tabled, and we'll revisit this at our next planning commission meeting where we take nuisance considerations.
yeah.
We'll close that public hearing.
Good.
Gentlemen, item 3 under nuisance is Marie Chrisman. This is a nuisance property at 279 Garth Farm Road. This is District 3 property. We'll open that public hearing. I'll ask Ms. Renee to demonstrate with the photos, please. I'll ask Ms. Chrisman or someone on her behalf to step forward and be prepared to address the board. Thank you.
All right, so we received a complaint August 14th about inoperable vehicles, grass, and rubbish. This is a repeat. We've had this previously. These were pictures that were taken on the 14th. And these are the new pictures that were taken yesterday.
What was agreed to the last time on this? Wasn't they were gonna bring in a new
Yeah.
mobile home and put behind it and tear this one down?
That's correct. You approved a dimensional variance to replace,
It's still in process.
Having problems with the lenders.
And when was this? When did we hear it the last time? When was it before us?
it was February of '23.
I mean, we got to get something done about it.
Yes, sir. I'm
And I mean-
sorry. I just hadn't been in good health to do it, and
Well, I think what we was told that your daughter was gonna, are you the daughter that was gonna bring in the
I'm in
mobile?
college right now though, so it's kind of hard for me to bounce back and forth. I go to Ole Miss, so I'm like
Yeah.
2 hours
You don't have to go to Ole Miss, you know?
away. Which is lost, so.
I understand.
Well, I mean, we getting several complaints on this, and I mean, we just can't keep kicking it down the road, and I mean, something's got to happen. And
is the next meeting in the November?
November 2nd.
Can I have to November to get it bored?
Get it
cleaned
what?
up.
Get it all cleaned
Get the
up.
outside
Well, just
cleaned up.
understand, if we come back in November and it's not addressed, you're gonna have to go up to court, okay?
Okay.
All right.
November, I'll give them no time. That's a month.
But you're not gonna have a mobile home or that, I mean,
What are you gonna
has
have
anybody
done?
been in the house? Is it, I mean, are y'all living, you still
Yeah,
living
how
in
the
it?
inside is fine. It's just the outside that's kind of screwed up.
Messed up.
What are they talking about having done, like November?
I mean, are you just talking about November, just cleaning up the outside, getting the grass mowed and
Getting all the stuff
all the
moved out the
debris
yard,
and
yeah.
junk gone? My thing is going, let's just table it to November and look at it, and if it's not cleaned up, and, but, I mean, something's got to be
You're
done.
delaying the referral up to justice court for about 30 days is what you're doing.
Yep.
Am I understanding that correctly?
Yes,
Go
sir.
ahead and declare it a nuisance today, Brad, and then, but delay the referral up to justice
Right.
court for 30 days. That'll give them-
That's right.
That'll give them 30 days to go ahead and try to take care of the cleaning up of the outside and get it into some condition that's
Make it
reasonably
look
acceptable.
different anyway.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, if the inside's in good shape, I mean, you could do a little bit of work on the outside. I mean, you could put some new siding up on the front of it just to dress it up a
Yeah.
little bit from, I mean, the tarps
It's-
don't really help a
It's
lot.
mighty old.
I understand, but you can make old look better.
Yeah.
I hope.
Well, they cleaned up right up around the house, right, look like grass or vines or something.
We
Yeah.
put some poison out on that.
Yeah, well, cut it down, make it, clean it up across there, and looks like you got a rotted hole in the wall there, cover that up. Just,
It's just hard because she really can't go out there and do it because she's not able-bodied to do it.
Yeah, I know.
Her
She-
husband's not able-bodied to do it. It's her son, because I'm not there.
but at least I know she's not on a walker today.
Well, I stay on this thing. We have been there for about 40 years, and the last 2 years, we've had problems.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And the last 2 years, I've had problems.
okay.
But
We wanna work with you, but.
We'll work,
We've been
we're
working
gonna,
with it, yeah.
we're gonna go ahead and
Yeah.
declare it a nuisance, and then we'll, I can look at it in November, and
So if we can make good progress before November, it won't have to go up to court at that point. They can say, continue to watch.
Okay.
Give you more time, but you gotta make really good progress by November, okay?
All right, sir.
Okay, thank you for
Thank
coming.
you.
Thank you.
Okay.
You're gonna have some, Thanksgiving holidays you can work on.
Gentlemen, the minutes will reflect that matter has, Brad, I think, I'd like to get a motion from you to declare it a nuisance.
I'll make a motion to
Second.
declare it a nuisance.
Second.
Motion by Brad, second by Jared, declare a nuisance, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it.
We'll close that public hearing. We'll move to item 4, Mr. President. This is the Terry Blair, Thomas Blair Estate nuisance property, 264 Garth Farm Road. Again, District 3 property. Ms. Renee will demonstrate with the photos. That hearing is open. I'll ask Mr. Blair or anyone here representing the Blair Estate to come forward at this time, please.
All right, so we received a complaint August 14th about inoperable vehicles and rubbish. This also is a repeat. These pictures were taken on the 14th.
That's a truck.
It's a truck on the side.
And then these are the new pictures that were taken
It
yesterday.
did roll the truck back over.
Yeah. That's one way you transmission out. That's weird.
That's his way of working on it.
That's right. Didn't dent the side up very bad when it rolled.
And this is a repeat also,
It is.
right? And I mean,
Uh,
and the power's not even, there's not power running to the house. They were running power from the generators, what I think I was told.
I'm not sure about the generator, but we did have contact with Mr. Terry Blair for a while, and he started the process of cleaning up. There were some broken windows and things, and he started working on that. But he had told us that he was sick, and so we haven't been able to get in touch with him
Nobody's
since
here
that
today,
point.
No one
Is
here.
anybody here to speak on this matter?
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to declare it a nuisance in Justice Court.
Yes, sir.
Motion by Brad to declare it a nuisance,
Second.
second by Jared, any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it.
That public hearing is closed. Mr. President, item 5 is a continuation of the Timothy Jones nuisance property, 102 Oakdale Circle. This is District 4 property. We'll reopen that consideration. I'll ask Mr. Jones to be prepared to step forward. Yeah. Renee, if you'll demonstrate the photos, please. Thank you.
All right, so we've received complaints on this property. This is a repeat too. We've had it several times. These pictures were taken June the 28th. And these are the new pictures that were taken on the 27th.
Looks a lot worse.
That's it.
All right.
This is, I guess, Steve's.
Yes,
isn't it?
Steve.
He's not here, so do all those vehicles work?
Yes, sir. I just got that white truck, that was my diesel. Put 18,000 in it to get it fixed.
I'm self-employed and I used Grand Marquis to work out of till I got the diesel fixed. All this repair and everything is based upon me getting that diesel truck so I can haul stuff off in a trailer to the junkyard. I have I had got a foundation guy to come in and do my foundation. He's now trying to get the permit to build the foundation on the house, which is going to affect the roof and a lot of the structure of the building, get everything cleaned up. I've also got a guy that's going to put an awning on my patio in the back, which I last time. It's with Comfort Zone, Eagle Carports out of Brookhaven, and they said it's going to be another 2 to 3 weeks before they can get to me still. I work for them as a subcontractor, and I'm just having trouble getting people with me. I'm sorry about the weeds, but my weed eater just broke last week. And I need to blow off the driveway, that storm that came through left everything.
So why do we have you keep coming in here?
Well, I'm self-employed. I'm scattered all over the state. I just come back from Chattanooga. I spent 6 weeks up there. I'm down in Alabama now, working on a bunch of stores and things, Dollar Generals and Dollar Trees. I don't know exactly what you want me to do about the fence. Do I have to replace the fence? It's good. It's got no holes in it. Its structure is there.
You need to get it put up.
It's,
Part of it like it's laying
Yeah.
down.
Oh, no, that
Scan
was-
another picture.
that was the gate. I'm out of
Okay.
town.
The other way?
That's the part, well, back it right there, and I mean, that looks like the gate, if that's the gate, it's leaning.
Yeah, my neighbor is disabled. He's got a bad shoulder. He leaves it open. He's been feeding my dog for me while I was out of town. I'll have to tell him to put it back. There is a wheel on it that lets you push it closed.
I got you.
But a lot of the trailer that's there, my nephew was borrowing it to move his stuff around out of his house. I have a lot of other people that borrow my 8x5 trailer. And I was asking Kathy, she said it was okay, it's got a tag on it, and the trailer is there.
Yeah.
I just need to know, if you give me a list, what do I immediately need to do?
Well, I think whatever your neighbors keep calling, get you reported, so I would think you need to tidy up out around the house, whatever that stuff is you can see, I would get it out of sight.
Well, I'm trying. I am stuck with the people I've contracted with to give deposits to. It took me 1.5 years to get that truck engine rebuilt and in that truck. That diesel truck will haul my car trailer out of there, and that little car will go to my son's house. But I've got to get 500 miles on that truck, which is now.
You can put a lot of that stuff behind the fence where nobody would see it from the road.
Well, I did that, but my dog was back there, chewed all my wires off of my trailer lights.
Oh.
That's why the little trailer's there. Yeah, I got the truck.
Can't win for losing, can you?
Well, sir,
Dog gets
I'm a
back there.
one-man company.
Yeah, I know. I'm just laughing. You do this, and you put it back, and the dog gets it.
Well, if the dog's in the back with the gate open, wouldn't he run out?
No, there is a cyclone double gate there, and that is the gate just to block view from seeing what's in the
The
backyard.
rest of the stuff.
I got you.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm
Maybe
just,
you could move whatever that stuff is over there by the fence, you know?
yep.
The little corner.
Yes.
Okay, I'll get that done
Are you
today.
gonna get a carport door installed?
Well, I don't know. I think you have to have a permit. That would,
Huh?
Can't tell him to put a carport door up.
Well, I'm just saying, if you're gonna still see all that stuff, he's gonna be right back in here.
no.
It's in his garage.
No, I will move it back in the weather if that's the case.
Well, I'm just saying, you know, there's a reason why somebody keeps calling, complaining, so I guess the grass is a lot higher.
I don't believe they call him because it's in his garage. We can't.
I cut the grass on both my neighbors.
Okay.
And the neighbor that's on the Baker Lane side, he's got fence petitions in the road ditch. The fence between us is down and gone. How come he's not up here?
Because nobody's called in on him.
Okay,
That's simple. I mean, in that, we don't go out looking for it. Somebody calls in, and you're right, there'll be somebody next door, same situation,
yeah.
but nobody's called them in.
I know it's bad. I mean, I run a scout troop, or was at one time, and I know what I'm supposed to do, but man, it's dropping and running. I've got, since the COVID thing, I was 52 weeks backed up on getting equipment. Yeah.
I'm working for mechanical contractors, and now all this stuff has come due. I got 2 years worth of work to do in 6 months.
Yeah.
I am really hurting when I come home. Only thing I want to do is lay down.
You got quite a bit of stuff in the garage, that's for sure.
Well,
I think you need to do something with it. You need to organize it some way to make it look a little.
I will haul it back I'll try to do it this afternoon. I have hired people. I've hired people to help me clean it up, but I can't get anybody to show up to work. Nobody wants to do any work. Everybody's got stuff done, going on everywhere else.
We know you got a job to do, so unfortunately, we do too. You
Yes,
know?
sir.
So try to work with us and get it cleaned up, so
I
we
mean,
don't see you back here again.
No, I come home on Fridays, wash clothes on Saturday, go to church on Sunday, and I'm gone.
Yep.
And the storm has come through and blown all the pine
I
straw.
mean, the pine straw is not a big deal to us.
No.
I mean, it's
Okay,
just
well-
a clutter.
That's small.
Well, just a short question. My neighbor also got brought up in front of you the same thing. And they put the petition up like I've got there. Should I paint that petition?
Jay?
Is that something that's gotta be done?
What,
She put a petition up on their side, but their end is open and you can look in and still see all the junk she
You
had.
check him out too then.
No, I don't wanna do that.
Huh?
I don't wanna cause no trouble. And then the guy 3 houses down, he's got a jungle in his backyard and all his fences are down. Y'all can
if you
see
just-
it.
if
You
get
give
the
them
clutter-
give them their addresses and we'll send them a notice too.
Oh, they'll kill me.
No, I mean,
I'm
they'll
just
have
saying, that's the way
opportunity.
we have to do it. That's where somebody
You're-
has to complain about it, and if you wanna make that complaint, we can.
I mean,
check
you don't
it
have to
out.
give your name on,
No.
your name won't be on the complaint.
They know. Look, I mean, I'm
Unless they
sorry.
watching you
Well,
right
one of
now.
them called on you probably.
All this started because I have cats. I have 2 cats that walked on the neighbor's boat. And he said that my cats peed on his boat cover. He is the one, and it's Kenny Eves, it's right across from me. He is the one that's making the complaints. I know the cats are kept on the property, they've all been neutered, they're all taken care of. I didn't buy them, they just show up, I feed them, I like cats.
If you're
But
not at
that's the
home,
problem.
I mean, they cats, you can't feed the cats unless your neighbor's feeding your cat.
Yes, he does. I have the food's on the carport.
All right, well,
But anyway,
right.
get this issue done, I can move it today.
Kathy, you can go out there and just check out those other properties then.
Yeah,
So,
Kathy did a good job. She said I had some vines on the fence in the back. I killed the vines, put poison on them to kill them. They're on my neighbor's side of the property. But honestly, I want to keep a good, clean area. I cut both my neighbor's grass.
We're going to
Okay.
declare this a nuisance today,
Yes, sir.
and if it's not done in 30 days, you're going to court, okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right,
Okay,
good deal.
all right,
There'll
thank
be
you.
nothing
All
there.
right, thank you.
I'm just a one-man guy trying to cover my bases.
I understand.
Appreciate you.
Okay.
Only you gotta keep-
Yes, sir.
I'll make a motion to declare it a nuisance.
So,
All right, motion by Brad, second by Jared.
Yeah.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. All right.
We'll close that public hearing. Item 6, Mr. President, is a continuation of the nuisance property on Michelle Drive. This is parcel J5I-2-740, District 3. The Community Development Director's Office verified that the owner of the property is called Lois Lane Properties LLC. So we'll ask for whomever is representing that entity to be prepared to step forward. That hearing is open. Renee will demonstrate the
Wow.
Okay, so this is in Robin Hood, and actually it's 2 lots. We didn't realize at the last meeting that both lots were owned by Lois Lane Properties.
But the one man, the gentleman that came,
Came,
said
yeah.
he bush hogged.
But I think that was, he was saying 3 years ago, because when he owned it, he got the notice, and we had, he cleaned it up, is what he was saying.
Right,
He
right.
bush hogged it. So we erroneously had him as the owner still of one of the lots, and so we verified that it is Miss Lois Lane that owns it.
Okay.
So anyway, these are the pictures back to May. And then these are the new pictures. The second lot had an old pool on it, and I think
That's
that
right, right
Mr.
there.
Gibbs just covered the top of it.
Yeah.
And we're still getting some complaints about that. Kathy may need
Isn't
to
that it
expand
right
on
there?
that.
That's it up on the hill, I
Uh-huh.
think.
Yep. Yep.
Oh, it's an in-ground. Well, that's a health hazard anyway, you know? Y'all need to fill that in.
Intend to sell the property, repair the trailer home that's on there, repair the home and sell the property.
To repair the home, you're gonna have us inspect it and see what it's gonna be to repair it, to come up to standard, you know,
Okay.
bring up to code.
Y'all really need to clean up a little better too. That fence needs to get all them weeds off of there.
Yes, sir.
And you know, if it's not clean and you sell it, the person that buys it's gonna inherit the problem.
Yeah.
Okay, so I get all the lines and stuff off of the fence, get the porch repaired and the roof done.
You need to fill in that pool.
And fill in the pool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you do that in a month?
I don't know if I can get it done in a month, maybe 2. I can start working on getting the pool filled in, but I know within a month I can get it cleaned up. That's not an issue. to get it
When's the
cleaned
last
up
time
before.
that trailer was occupied?
It was before we purchased it.
Do you know? I mean, is it?
Yeah, I don't know. Well, the roof is still good, and it's just, well, the roof needs to be repaired, but the rest of the bones in the house are pretty good.
Okay.
You might want us to inspect it before you get going too far. Would that be the thing to do?
That may be a good
Does it-
idea. Yeah, that probably would be the
Yeah,
best time
because
to
it
have
may
you
be the
inspected
point
first, because I don't want.
I mean,
Yeah,
if
we
it's
wanna
not
put too much.
livable,
Yeah,
I
we
mean,
wanna
you
put
just
too much
gonna have
money
to-
into it, and
Right,
then
right.
yeah.
That's what I'm trying to save you some.
Yeah. So
money.
how would I go about just getting
Call
an
the
inspection done?
Oh,
Like,
there they are, right there.
Yeah, we can arrange that.
okay. So, and I guess we have the correct address now, because I believe you guys were sending information to the wrong address before, so we have the right address for whatever information. Good.
All right, so what we're gonna do is declare it a nuisance.
Okay.
You continue to clean it up. They'll monitor it. The building department will come out, inspect the trailer, see if it's even livable.
If it's feasible, you may have to put more money in its work, you know, so, but if it's not, y'all are gonna have to tear it down.
How old a trailer is it?
You said how old is the trailer?
Probably 80.
Let me see here.
Dates back to aluminum wiring. I don't know how far back that is, what, the 70s, 80s?
Let me
I
see.
don't know if it says on here when it was.
Oh, okay.
We've been in it before.
We have, do you know when the last time this was occupied?
Been about 8 years.
8 years? Ooh, that's a lot of sitting.
Was y'all,
Yeah, like
did y'all
that.
look at it and buy it, or did y'all buy it on?
Well,
When we looked at it, it was a little better than what
Yeah,
it
a
is
little
right
bit.
now, but, we bought it with the intention of trying to get everything repaired and
Yeah.
rehab, but then my father passed away, so then I had to deal with that situation.
Okay.
And now,
yeah, it ended up getting put on the back burner, so now it's just now starting to have a little ease up on getting the property in Wisconsin and all that
Right.
up to par, so now we can come back.
Well,
and
we're gonna
about
declare,
our business here.
like I said, I'm gonna make a motion to declare it a nuisance, and in the meantime, y'all continue to clean, reach out to the building department, let them come in and look at it, and to see if it's even feasible.
And we're all about you rehabbing it, you know, making it livable, so.
And making the place look nice, we're all
Yeah.
for that, but I just don't want you to, none of us want you to go in there and start doing something until we inspect it. It may not be practical. I mean, it may cost you more to bring it up to code if it's that old.
And I mean,
Just take
you're
it
gonna
out,
have to
bring
get
in a new one.
You're gonna have to get a slip from the health department to see if the septic system.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so
Yeah, that's a totally different deal.
And that's nothing to do with us, that's the health department.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
different deal.
Yeah, well, won't you give your contact information to them so that y'all can schedule a time to
Okay.
meet out there?
All right,
All right.
all right.
All right, thank y'all. All right. I made the motion to declare it a nuisance.
All right,
I'll
motion by
second.
Brad, second by Jared, declared nuisance. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. All right.
Gentlemen, the last time is actually not a hearing, this is an update on a couple of nuisance. Actually, I think there's 4 separate properties that we're working on. Ms. Renee and I had a telephone conference with the attorney down on the coast who represents these 2 companies that are listed here on your agenda, TTLBL and MSTREO. These are tax sale, these are entities that spend a lot of time buying up tax sale properties around the state. and their legal representation is on the coast, Mr. Joel Blackledge. And so Ms. Renee and I made contact and just started trying to work through some of the issues that we have with tax sale properties that are purchased by these larger corporations, these out-of-state corporate entities like this, and how it is that we effectively get some form of communication about the conditions of the properties that they purchase at the land sale. You know, most of the time those are purchased sight unseen, or may as well be. And so I'm a little sensitive about the reality of the fact that when you purchase property at a tax sale, you're really not, you're not buying much. And which is why the price is pretty low.
No such thing as a
right?
deal.
Yeah, and so oftentimes what you'll find is that these larger entities they'll step in and purchase a piece of property at the land sale, and then they have to hire legal counsel to help them secure actual title of the property, and not just land sale title, not just a tax deed through the Chancery Clerk's office, because that falls far short of the kind of merchantable title that you need to effectively control the property, okay? And so we acknowledged all of that. What does that mean? At the end of the day, when these entities purchase at the land sale and then later, once the period of redemption has expired, secure an actual tax title, they have to go farther then and file a title confirmation action in court and ask a judge to provide them with merchantable title through a court order. And so that process takes time, and this is one of the reasons why they have to hire legal counsel, local legal counsel, to do that. And so here's the issue for us. We will oftentimes find that property ownership has changed hands by virtue of a tax deed that has been recorded. And that's how we get these guys in front of us on nuisance considerations. They're sitting on property now, short of full ownership, but with a tax deed. And so we ask them to come in and address with us the condition of the property. The problem that puts them in is they don't really have merchantable title at that stage. They're moving through the tax title confirmation piece of it to get merchantable title. And so the basis of the conversation was, how can we effectively work with these companies that have moved into a tax confirmation action? How can we give them some grace, some period of time to let them complete that tax confirmation action before we ask them to spend wholesale money cleaning the property up? They acknowledge that that puts us in a bind because we have neighbors who are looking at dilapidated properties who aren't interested in waiting.
Right.
And so you understand the dynamic that we're in there. And so what I'm trying to do is get us to a point where we can expect and communicate to our folks out in the community, you will see action on this property by some date. And so we're trying to set up a process now where once they move into tax confirmation action, I expect them at that point, because they're moving through the process, I'm expecting them at that point to at least get the front of the property cleaned up. Right? And so we're trying to stage this where it makes sense for everybody.
Good.
So I want you guys to understand that we will continue to see these entities come before us and others. And so we need to be thoughtful about how we're going to address it going forward. And I need you guys to be comfortable with the way that we're proposing to address it will work for you guys with your constituents. It may not work. There may be occasions where
cleaned up.
where we've got to take a different approach to this. I'm not saying this is going to be a one-time, we're going to fix it once and for all. I think we're just going to have to figure out what's the best process that we can establish.
Right.
So,
Well, a complaint is called in, Kathy or whoever there handles it, will they know where that process is?
probably not, Brad. And the truth of the matter is, even the attorney representing these companies can't tell you for sure.
Yeah.
Because there are hearing dates that have to be secured, and the court controls that.
What can we tell our constituents that we're?
About the best we can tell them, I think, is that typically where it is a typical tax title confirmation action, we're talking about from the date that the complaint is filed until order confirming title, that is usually within 4 months.
Okay.
Subject to change.
All right, is that it?
All right.
Yeah.
All right, do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Motion by Daniel,
Second.
second by Brad, any discussion? All in favor say aye.
All
All right, we're gonna move over and call our Board of Supervisors meeting to order. This time we have Mr. Dave Van with us. Thank you for waiting, sir. Don't.
Stoved
don't,
up.
don't
Sick
make us
so
this
long.
hard. Don't make us come
At
see
least it
you
wasn't
over there,
boring,
you
you
know?
know, a lot of interesting stuff to hear.
We got plenty of beds for you
Yeah.
guys before long, won't we?
Right.
Yes, sir.
But thank you, Mr. President. Thank you for letting me come before you. And fellow Board of Supervisors, thank you for everything that you do for Region 8. I got an annual report. I'd like to approach and give it to you guys if that's
Absolutely.
possible.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I'll be glad.
Okay, great. Let me keep one. I'll forget what was in it. Like, great. Senate Bill 2100 requires me to come before you face to face at least once a year, but at any time that you need me to come before you, I'm always available 24 hours a day, and so is Region 8, and we're very, very thankful for you guys. I have to say a special thanks to you guys for the commitment that you've made to the most vulnerable in our populations here in Rankin County, and the efforts that you are providing for that population. These are folks that are going to be here whether we like it or not. 25% of our population suffers from mental illness, and just about everybody in their family or extended family will have the need for mental health treatment at some point in a 12-month period of time. So thank you so much. We served let me back up and say a special thanks to all of you guys, Mr. Cross, Mr. Morris, Mr. Calhoun, Mr. Bishop, Mr. Gaines is not here, for your commitment to the crisis center at a time when beds are closing down, psychiatric beds throughout the rest of the state. Rankin County is certainly has a vision to take care of these individuals in a safe and humane way by adding psychiatric beds, and your commitment to Region 8 and those folks are certainly appreciated, not unnoticed, and I will keep you up to date on the progress of that facility, that renovation of that facility. It is scheduled to be complete on February the 2nd, 2024, and certainly.
That's very specific. February 2nd.
Yeah, that's the schedule.
February 2nd.
It's February 2nd. I think the reason is because February 1st is on a Sunday. And ain't that we're gonna do anything on that particular. No, I don't even know if that's the case, but thank you so much for your commitment, and very much needed. You'll see that it is a component that keeps communities healthy, and it don't work like that throughout the rest of the state and the other areas that I go into. And I just want to thank you for your friendship and your commitment to Region 8. Your allocations allows us to provide for the indigent. We served last year almost 13,000 folks. The year before that, almost 18,000 folks. And about a third of those were indigent or uninsured. And your allocations allows us to adopt a position that we can afford not to serve everybody regardless of their ability to pay. We find a way to do that, and your allocations goes toward that goal. And the last fiscal year, we spent $10,213,000 on this campus over here in Rankin County. Your allocations is $337,000. That does not include a crisis contract that we have with you guys that will help us have even a better continuum of care once we get this crisis center built over here. We're not asking for additional allocations, anything more than what we have, and this is my 26th year to come before you, consecutive year. And I think maybe we've asked for allocations 1 year. I think that was the first year I was there, but nothing additional since then. As long as we can balance our budget, we certainly will not ask you for anything. In addition to the commitment that you made on the construction of the facility over there, and I think we've already got that check, so, and we've already deposited.
Did it clear?
Yeah.
Did it go through?
I think so, yeah. Nobody has informed me otherwise thus far. Yeah.
But Dave,
So
we sure
that's-
appreciate the job you do, sir.
Yeah,
Always appreciate it.
Very much, Dave, thank you.
thank you guys,
Very much.
appreciate that.
Set the bar real, very high, thank you.
Well, if you don't mind me saying, I also would like to say thank you to all the other folks throughout our county, because everybody just really works together in this county. It's like a well-oiled machine, and I don't see that in any other place but Rankin County. You guys really care about it, Mr. Swales, Craig, Mr. Hicks, the sheriff, everybody. We work together every day to take care of these folks in Rankin County, but it starts with your leadership. And once again, I just want to say thank you, and that we are grateful for your commitment and all that you do for the population that we take care of in Rankin County.
Thank you,
Thank
Dave.
you for letting me
Thank you,
come
Dave.
forward.
See you next year, man.
Thank you. Next year,
Yeah, don't be
the
retired.
Lord's willing. Okay, thank
See you,
you.
brother.
All right, see you.
Thank you.
All right, next up on public comment, we have Miss Allison Troth. See you, cousin. No, Allison Troth? Okay, moving on to, well, Cooksey, we had him already. He
Yes, sir,
was-
that's right.
Yeah, okay, all right. That's it for signing up public comment. All right, Craig.
Yes, sir. Wanted to remind you guys, one of the benefits of the commitment that you've made to Region 8 with respect to this acute care facility, just a quick reminder, the impact that that's going to have financially as it relates to sheriff's operations specifically, and transport of individuals who are in need of acute psychiatric care. You guys will recall that one of the reasons why we wanted to invest in the facility local is because we were having to transport those acute psychiatric conditions somewhere down around Pike County, if I recall correctly. That was Brookhaven. Yeah, it was the closest facility that we had. And so the impact of your investment here is going to have a direct financial benefit, specifically to our sheriff's operations. I want to remind you guys about that. All right, so first item under my section, gentlemen, is a ratification of our emergency declaration and authority to make emergency repair for a storm drain that was impacted by a waterline rupture. That's the City of Flowood's water line. It was at Farmington Station, Fairview Drive and Farmington Station Boulevard right-of-way. And so we're ratifying that emergency declaration, and you're ratifying the authority contract with Southern Rock to perform the required emergency repairs. I'm asking you also to authorize the county administrator to receive that invoice and to issue the check upon completion of the services. I just need a motion to approve that.
Yes, I'll make that motion.
Motion by Daniel,
Second.
second by Jared. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you. Mr. Hicks? Oh, you can just stay there, Steve's not here.
Unless you just need to get up.
Yeah, go ahead, sir.
Under additional business, we have Mr. Smith. Did you want to go ahead and allow him to?
Sure, Mr.
address the
Smith,
board?
you ready to come before the board?
Yeah.
Roll on up. You can stay in there if you want.
You can stay right there, Mike.
Stay right there.
Yeah.
You can stay right there, Miss Smith. I'm bringing you the mic. You can have a seat.
Okay.
Stay quiet.
Thank you, Craig.
Thank you for allowing me to meet with you today. I apologize, gentlemen, for not being at your last meeting. I was some kind of mix-up on my transportation here, and I didn't make your last meeting. As most of you know, I'm on the Richland Creek watershed. We have a serious problem there in that we don't have enough commissioners to operate. I understand Freddie Harrell, who has been serving as the commission's chairman, more or less, has resigned. That's what I'm told by his office. I have never received an official letter from him, and I didn't know whether you had or not. Alvin Beck is his second commissioner. I haven't seen Alvin in a meeting in a year, and I don't know what he is. He's a longtime friend of mine. I don't know what's happened. I do know his wife's been real sick recently, but we can't operate without two commissioners. So there's some things I want to discuss with you, and there's, but that's the situation the commission is in right now. I don't know if there are any questions or not.
Yes. So, yes, we are aware that Mr. Freddie has resigned his commissioner position, and my understanding is that Mr. Beck has also resigned his commissioner position. Both of those guys have been longtime members of the commission, and they've done an excellent job of serving our community through their service on Richland Creek. A petition has been filed on behalf of the district with the Chancery Court requesting appointment of 2 new commissioners. That hearing is scheduled for October the 19th at the Chancery Court. And as you know, the Richland Creek Drainage District is a separate political subdivision. You guys don't have any activities related to the operation of the district, so I'm just giving you information that I'm aware of. So the court will undertake a consideration of replacement commissioners for the 2 who have stepped away voluntarily. And my anticipation is that that those 2 commissioners who the court will consider will be appointed more than likely by court order, unless something comes up during the hearing that causes a delay in that appointment. But I would expect the 2 new commissioners to be appointed that day, and then there will be 3 total commissioners that are able to operate at that point. I'm confident that it's going to take a little bit of time before the district's able to kind of ramp up and get its activities back underway. With new commissioners coming on, there'll have to be some transfer of the documents from Mr. Freddie's control over to whoever the court appoints, and we'll just have to play it by ear at that point. We're staying in communication with them. As you guys know, the state legislature has provided funding for the county to be in a position to kind of help the district along here and there, and that work has been ongoing for quite some time. And so I expect that to continue, but official action is we're going to be hard pressed to do that without at least 2 commissioners who are able to act on behalf of the district officially. So there's your update.
Refresh my mind on, didn't we offer to let them borrow $1 million to do work?
Yes, sir. So the process, Jay, over the last couple of years has been, well, first we had to receive the funding from the state, which we got, and that took a little bit of time. And then we started the process of working with Mr. Freddie and Mr. Alvin in particular about language associated with a loan agreement that the district could execute. We could never get comfortable. I don't want to put words in Mr. Freddie and Mr. Alvin's mouth, but there never was a comfort level with the language of the loan agreement. And so as we sit here today, there is still not a loan agreement in place. So as you know, and we've communicated this every chance we get, this board is legally prohibited from giving money to a drainage district. We're not allowed to do that. And so we've come up with a way to be able to provide some assistance through funds made available to us from the state, but it has to be done through a document that's referred to as a loan agreement. It has to be subject to a repayment.
Okay.
And I think that was where the comfort level was difficult, was knowing that the commitment would be that they would receive funding assistance, but would have to formulate a way eventually to repay that.
Yeah.
And so that became the sticking point with the prior commissioners. I don't anticipate that we will have trouble getting a loan agreement in place. Once the court has made its appointment, I don't anticipate that we'll have any trouble, and I think we'll see activity move fairly quickly. I had a really good conversation with representatives of NRCS within the past 2 weeks, and they have funding available and are chomping at the bit to try to help move funding that they have available.
Okay.
And so we're working feverishly to get us to October 19th, where we can get some official folks in place and then start working with NRCS about capturing some of the funding that's available. By the way, it's funding, my understanding is it's funding that's not going to require a match.
That's awesome.
So we're getting there, but we've got some activities that are on the schedule that we're having to wait.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Mr. Smith, does that satisfy you? Well, I might should not ask that.
I wasn't here requesting anything, I was just reporting the situation.
Yeah, all right.
And I mean, it's a bad situation, I tell you what, gentlemen, we've been working we got $1.5 million, about two and a half years, well, actually November the 22nd, 1921.
Yes, sir.
And it's been bungled by the state office, how they've handled it. It's been through 3 committees, 3 different divisions of theirs. They passed it off then to an engineering firm up in Nashville, which is hill country, and sent a bunch of people down here to tell us about floods in the flatland. So you can sort of sense the situation could be improved a lot. Now, I wasn't, I haven't been involved in any meetings lately because I had a stroke about a year and a half ago, and I've been out a good bit of time.
Yes, sir.
So, but I'm back on the mend, and I can
See that.
beginning to walk now, so I'm ready to go.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Take care of yourself.
Glad to see you.
So we will certainly keep Mr. Smith posted.
I think he had a couple more questions that he wanted to address.
I will say one thing. I have a degree in agricultural engineering and specialized in water management and that type of thing. I have a PhD in engineering. So I worked for NASA 9 years. I've worked for NASA directly out of the White House. I had an office in the White House. So you can say a lot of what we had down there in NASA Stennis is a result of my experience being in Washington. And I know how to get things done. And just give me the chance and I'll do you proud.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
Smith. Thank you, Mr.
Appreciate
Smith.
that very much.
Okay.
All right,
All right, thank you. All right,
right,
Mr. Keith.
As a reminder, this is our final meeting for the fiscal year, so we have some cleanup things that we're going to go through today.
All right.
Item A is authority to amend the fiscal year 23 budget as of September 30th to reflect actual receipts and expenditures for the fiscal year.
Yep, so moved.
Motion by Daniel, second by myself. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it.
Item B is approval of our year-end claims docket, the amount of $3,571,085.23.
So moved.
Motion by Daniel,
second.
second by Jared. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it.
All right, we've recently received our House Bill 603 money, and we're asking for authority to transfer those out of the general account into their own separate accounts.
So moved.
Motion by Daniel,
Second.
second by Brad. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it.
All right, we have some, couple of contracts we need to get in, authorized, and the first one is gonna be authority to enter into a contract with for tower inspection with Diamond K, and that's to inspect our 6, mobile radio tower sites, and this is a requirement of our insurance carrier.
All right.
Motion approved.
Motion by Brad,
Second.
second by Jared. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, item E is authority to enter into a personnel study agreement with John C. Stennis Institute of Government and Community Development to review the county's personnel structure.
All right. Motion by myself,
I'll second.
second by Brad. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes got it.
All right, item F is approval of inventory changes to add items to the county inventory, remove broken or obsolete items from the county inventory, and transfer items interdepartmentally, and there's a list attached.
So moved.
Motion by Daniel,
Second.
second by Jared. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have
All
it.
right, item G is approval of a request from Pisgah Dragon Club for fiscal year 23 rec funds in the amount of $2,484.96, and that's authorized by House Bill 1744.
So moved.
Motion by Daniel, second by Jared. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Item H is approval from Florence High School Booster Club for rec funds in the amount of $2,616.50.
All right, motion.
Motion approved.
Motion by Jared, second by Brad. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have
Yeah, I'm glad John did it. That's it.
Any questions for the agenda on Monday?
Do we have a need for executive session?
Yes, sir.
We have a potential litigation item, Mr. President.
All right, do I have a motion to discuss the need for
We're gonna
executive session?
Be a quick one.
Yeah, a motion to go in,
Aye.
or need for, I guess litigation, you said,
Motion by
Celeste?
Daniel.
Yes.
I'll
Second by Brad. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, make a motion to go in for litigation, is that what you said?
Potential
All right.
litigation.
Motion.
Motion by Daniel,
Second.
second by Brad. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
We are in executive session.
Okay.